Welcome to a short video teaching you how to make a flint axe. Let's just bring our camera a little closer to put you in the moment. Okay. Best way to make an axe is to be in the sitting position so that the axe can be made on the leg. What we have is a nice fine lump of flint, and as you can see it's very random in its shape. So the first thing I need to do is gain control of the piece and get some shape going. When you first open the flint, you can't necessarily tell how good it's going to be inside because it's 100 million years old and it's had quite a journey before it got into my hands. There can be frost cracks running around and possibly removing the possibility of you ever making a tool from it. Each time the flint is struck, it creates a new place that I can possibly knock another flake from. And slowly but surely I'm gaining access all the way around the stone. This part of making the axe is the most costly in terms of its overall scale. But at this stage we now have a fighting chance of getting an axe. We can now see this is length and this is the width. So what I now need to do is try and take this massive lump off of the back. That's going to be done from this end where I have access directly onto the ridge. So the work I did just here was to create a platform with a view to that giving me access through that hill. We've still had some of it remaining, and now this crest line that runs along the top is probably the best access to it again now. So first of all we'll create a platform which is a shape that tilts at about 70 degrees to the surface and fire a flake along there. Okay, so now it's a good time where, as you can see, the thickness is coming down. We've still got enough scale to get the axe, so we are going to begin to employ a new tool called the soft hammer. This is a nice large lump of red deer antler. We're also going to change the size of the pebble that we've been using to take the big lumps off. At this stage a little bit more care is required in platform creation, so that when the flint is struck with the soft hammer the flakes are directed in the right direction and at the right depth. And as you'll see, the length of the flake is nice and long and transports easily across the surface. This is the benefit gained of employing the soft hammer. Each piece that is removed is going to have an edge like a razor blade, so you may require a pair of gloves on when you're doing this, or you might end up sporting a little cut or two, as I already have on this occasion. Obviously the accuracy of your shots is going to dictate whether or not you make anything, because you need to be able to hit the flint exactly where you intended to. This is supported by being in the sitting position, which generally assists that. As you can see, all the flakes that have come off are useful for secondary work or becoming other tools. Along the passage of flint knapping, you may incorporate several problems. One of the main problems that people experience is something called a step or a hinge, which is where the passage of the flake didn't happily make its journey and leaves you with a slightly unpleasant finish and difficult to manage defect on the surface of the stone. What's required to get beyond them is possibly more attention paid to the platforms, or a slight angle change when you go to strike off the big flakes. As you can see, this is now becoming quite thin, so we need to pay attention and make sure that we don't make it too thin, as you would when you're making something like a dagger or a spearhead. And you can shorten the flakes by literally lifting the back edge of the flint up. And now what I'm doing is balancing the shape along the edges with smaller removals, just so the whole axe is more streamlined. as you can see, that's straightening up nicely now. That's one side successfully created. So let's move into the opposite side now. While you're napping, you'll clearly hear the different acoustic sounds of napping, and that in itself is quite indicative of whether you're napping well or not. What you don't want is the sound ringing too high, because that can denote that your flint is out of balance and can create the possibility of it falling in too when you're striking it. Those nice clean, crisp clinks that you're hearing are the types of sounds that we want to be hearing. Now down both sides, I'm going to form the shape of the cutting head. It has a nice smooth arc to it. And a reasonably well considered angle so that it bites instead of bouncing away as it's used to cut wood or fell a tree. So there we have it. In just under 15 minutes, this is a reasonably well formed flint rough out. Not a big investment of time. In the Neolithic, this would have probably gone on and been polished to remove all of the flake scars and make it the super tool of the day. If you'd like to try this, you'll find on my website dates for flint knapping workshops, and also access on there for flint tools and flint as a raw material for you to be able to by from me and explore your ability of flint knapping. Thanks for watching. Hope that was fun. I only got one little cut, so all is well. Cheers for now. Bye.